This rider took a kick to the head and woke up with a cracked skull, with doctors racing him into brain surgery. Another guy hit the dirt at the World Finals and didn't get to stand up. He left on a backboard with his spine, ribs, and lung all wrecked. These are the 15 biggest crash outs in PBR history. At number 1, Fabiano Vieira's skull fracture and brain surgery in Texas. Gate cracks, the bullfires, and Fabiano loses that clean escape window. He hits the dirt and the next beat is pure nightmare fuel. He takes a violent kick to the head. You can see the urgency instantly. Nobody's celebrating a big wreck here. People are just moving fast. He's rushed for care, and the update later is the kind nobody wants to hear. Skull fracture and brain surgery the next day. Bull riding always says 8 seconds. This one doesn't. This one turns into days in a hospital and a long road back to normal life. At number 2, Casio Diaz versus Norse God at the 2024 PBR World Finals Eliminations. The wreck that hit like a season-ending car crash in the middle of a title run. Fort Worth is loud, tense, and Casio is trying to protect position. Then he draws Norse God, and you already know what that means. Hard snaps, nasty timing, no mercy when you fall behind. He comes off, lands in the danger pocket, and Norse God steps back into him. Look at that. No time to roll, no time to crawl. Just weight and hooves in the worst place. The arena noise drops out and turns into that panicked hush. Medics swarm. Backboard comes out. Later, the injury list confirms why everyone looked sick. Spinal fractures, broken ribs, partially collapsed lung, concussion. At number 3, Tyler Bingham's spotted demon wreck at the NFR in December 2020. And this one is brutal because it stacks damage on damage. He gets bucked off and hits wrong, and before he can get space, the bull's right there with him. It's chaos, dust, legs, bodies moving in every direction, and then the aftermath reads like a hospital chart, not a sports update. Concussion, multiple broken ribs, broken sternum, broken clavicle, bruised lungs and heart, and internal injuries doctors had to monitor closely. The clip looks bad. The report makes it worse. This wasn't shaken up. This was thank God he lived. At number 4, Zach Nagel's neck goring in February 2025, the one that went viral because it doesn't even look real at full speed. He comes off, the bull turns back, and the angle lines up in the worst possible way. Then it happens, horn to neck, no warning, no brace, just impact. The crowd goes silent in a way you can feel through the screen. People are screaming for medics. Reports afterward describe a severed carotid artery, a nicked jugular, massive blood loss, emergency surgery, and a long recovery. This is why bullfighters sprint like their lives depend on it, because sometimes they do. At number 5, Casio Diaz again, this time the broken femur in Tucson, November 2024. And the cruel part is the whiplash. He starts the weekend strong, posts a solid round 1, and looks like he's building again. Then round 2 happens fast. He comes off and gets launched into the steel. You can tell something is seriously wrong because he doesn't try to cowboy up and jog it off. He stays down, medics rush him, and the official update lands heavy. Fractured right femur, surgery, out indefinitely. That's not soreness, that's your season snapping in half.
Ooh, cliffhanger. Added an extra layer of suspense.
At number 6, Brady Olson's career-ending neck injury at PBR Team's Gambler Days 2024. This one is scary because it happens in that team's pace, fast outs, short breaks, adrenaline everywhere. He nods, the bull explodes, and Brady gets pitched in a way that sends him down hard. From the stands, it might look like another ugly one, but then you notice how careful he is, how still, how everyone slows down. Later, the details come out. Torn ligaments in his neck around C3 to C4, and PBR reports it as career-ending. That's the kind of injury that doesn't just hurt, it forces a decision about the rest of your life. At number 7, Cody Nance's left hip dislocation in Kansas City, 2019. Proof you don't need blood to have a true crash out. He comes off and the twist is wrong. One leg gets caught in the worst timing, the body rotates, and the hip leverages out like a door popping off a hinge. Watch his reaction. No big dramatic roll, just that instant freeze because the pain is so sharp you don't even want to breathe. PBR later lists it clearly, left hip dislocation. They can put it back, sure, but trusting that joint again while a bull detonates under you, that's a whole different fight.
He recovered from that.
At number 8, Marco Iguchi's 94-point ride, and then the knockout right after it at the 2018 World Finals. This is the one that messes with your brain because he wins the war and still gets punished. T-Mobile Arena, Vegas Lights, and he draws Spotted Demon, an animal built like a tank with a reputation for wrecking plans. Marco rides him clean. 8 seconds. Whistle. Score flashes 94. The place erupts. Now watch the exit. This is where it turns. He steps off, drifts too close, and Spotted Demon snaps back. A horn catches him in the face, and Marco just drops. Lights out. That moment is why riders say the ride isn't over until you're gone. And yes, he later finishes that week strong and leaves with the World Finals average, plus the Lane Frost Brent Thurman Award for that 94-point ride. At number 9, John Crimber vs. Yahoo, Broken Collarbone, 2025 World Finals eliminations. You can feel the confidence in the way he sets up. Young gun, big stage, trying to keep a run alive. Gate pops, Yahoo fires, and John gets unseated fast. The first hit looks like a normal buck-off. Then Yahoo comes through the escape line and adds that extra contact that turns lost ride into medical check now. The update later confirms it. Broken collarbone. And a collarbone break isn't just pain, it steals your ability to rope up, brace, and protect yourself the next time you hit the ground. At number 10, Brady Fielder's broken leg at Last Cowboy Standing, August 2025. This one starts normal and ends with that sick realization every rider hates. The leg just won't work. He comes off, lands wrong, and the force loads the leg at a bad angle. Look, he tries to get up like they always do. One step, and his body says no. Medics move in because this isn't a limp. Reports afterward describe it as a fractured leg that stops his run cold. That's the cruelty of these formats. You're not eliminated by points. You're eliminated by gravity. At number 11, Eduardo Aparecido's Broken Jaw Collision, 2019. This is the classic danger most people don't respect. The moment after you come off, when you think you're escaping and the bull recenters like a moving wall. He hits the dirt, starts to clear, and then the bull swings back. Boom, face level collision. You don't need slow motion to understand it. Hands to the face, stagger, that something is seriously wrong posture. Reports describe a broken jaw, the kind of injury that turns eating, sleeping, and even breathing into a problem for weeks. At number 12, Denner Barbosa getting hung up on my buddy Taco, the nightmare scenario that bullfighters sprint for. He nods, things look fine for a second, and then his foot hangs. That's all it takes. One bad catch, and suddenly he's not a rider. He's attached luggage. Look at that. My buddy Taco keeps spinning while Denner is stuck, getting dragged and yanked through every rotation. Bullfighters dive in like it's a rescue mission because it is. When they finally free him, he's rattled and battered, and the arena breathes again.
Grab it, guys. Oh, and he is still hung.
At number 13, Taylor Tobes versus Stretch in Albuquerque. A hang-up that turns into a full-on thrashing. Championship round pressure, bright lights, and Tobes needs a number to make a move. Then the hand doesn't come free. Now watch what Stretch does when he realizes he's got him. He jerks, drags, and whips him around while bullfighters throw themselves into the line of fire to force an angle. When it finally ends, the damage is obvious in the way he moves and the way they treat his head, later described as a concussion situation. This is why a hang-up is every rider's fear. You're not falling anymore. You're trapped. At number 14, Joel Ricardo Vieira versus Doze You Down in St. Louis. One of the weirdest how did that just happen wrecks you'll ever see. Gate pops and Doze You Down doesn't buck normal. He jams the front end down and pops up into this freaky hoof stand, like the bull glitched mid-animation. And Joel, he gets launched straight into the steel. Look, he slams into the fence and ends up inverted, basically stuck upside down against metal, while bullfighters sprint to pull the bull away. Even without a long injury report attached to it, the visuals are violent enough to live in your head. Finally, at number 15, João Ricardo Vieira versus Suspicious Minds in Rapid City. The definition of this should have ended so much worse. He comes off, hits the dirt, and Suspicious Minds is right there. Feet step in, then the kick flashes through up near the head and shoulder line. The crowd doesn't cheer here. They hold their breath. Bullfighters swarm and peel the bull away, and you get that long second where everybody's just watching João like, please move. Then he does. He gets up and walks out, shaken but moving. One of those rare endings where the body somehow escapes the highlight reel damage. If this hits home, subscribe for more straight from the dirt stories like this, and tell me in the comments which crash out rattled you the most. I'll see you in the next one.